Okay, so I just spent a good hour reorganizing my makeup. We were out of town for the holidays, and then I think just filming all of my end of the year wrap up videos. I had makeup everywhere, and it felt really good just to kind of sit down and figure out what I wanted to focus on for the next few months. So it is full on winter, although it hasn't been that cold where I live, but I know the cold weather is coming. So for me personally, I do switch up my makeup seasonally. Right now, I'm kind of feeling like a lot of cream and liquid cheek products. So I'm going to show you what I'll be using, as well as a lot of hydrating complexion products. I really downsized the eyeshadows that I'll be reaching for, and then I have a lot of like glossy hydrating lip products as well. If you're new to my channel or new to these videos, I really use this as a way to rotate through my entire makeup collection. As someone who reviews makeup for my job, I do try out a lot of new makeup, but I also like to just use and enjoy what I already have. It really isn't like all about the newest launches for me all the time, because I own a lot of really good products. So in these videos, I just like to give you like a lot of reviews and just kind of show you what I use regularly, do swatches, comparisons, and just kind of sit down and talk about makeup. So I'll put timestamps in the description if you want to jump ahead to a certain category, but let's kick it off with complexion products. So for primer, like I said, it's winter, it's cold out, so I wanted to have a very hydrating option. This one is from Catrice. They recently redid this line, so I'm not sure what the new version is called. I'll link it in the description box below because some of the newer primers have different names, but the formulas are somewhat similar. So I wanted to actually use this up because I've had this in my collection for a little while. There's only a small amount in here, but this is a really good alternative to the Smashbox Primerizer. It has like a very thin, almost serum-like texture. It feels really nice on the skin. It's a really good, just hydrating face primer. So definitely a great option. I just want to use that one up fully because it is one of the older options in my collection. This is one that I've been using regularly ever since they launched it. It's the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. It's basically the exact opposite of the one I just showed you. This one is very smoothing. It does have more of a matte finish. So sometimes I'll pair this with more moisturizing or glowy complexion products just to balance them out a little bit. Or if I'm dealing with a lot of texture or breakouts, then this one's a great option. So I like to have this one on hand. And then I actually just repurchased this one in December. It's the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I haven't tried this in a little while because e.l.f. launched the Power Grip and I love that product. But I wanted to try this one again because I do use the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip setting spray, but I'll sometimes use it as a priming spray. And that actually, it really does work well to extend the wear of my makeup. This is very light. It definitely has a nice glow to it, and it does lock your makeup into place. I remember enjoying it in the past. The reason I just didn't repurchase it is because I did like the Power Grip, but sometimes I feel like the Power Grip, not that it's too sticky, this one just feels like a lighter version of that. So I almost think that could be more ideal for my skin type or what I prefer these days. So I'll keep you posted if I end up thinking this is still worth the money. I got it on sale because Sephora was having like that last 20% off sale during December. The last thing I have in here is from Westman Atelier. This is the first product I ever tried from the brand. I ordered it from Nordstrom and it had such good reviews. I've been enjoying a very glowy base. Not always, but if I do wear more of like a light coverage product or a skin tint, sometimes I'll pair it with a really glowy base, and I just love the way it looks. So this is from, I already said, Westman Atelier. I forget, I think they have 3 shades. I want to say this is the lightest. You know what, I'll list most of the products that I'm featuring in today's video. I don't think they'll all fit in the description box, but I'll try to list and link what I can. But look how pretty this is. I think this looks so natural on the skin. The tone is perfect. Like, I've tried a lot of highlighting products and some look a little bit too metallic, a little too silver or too gold. Because this has more of like a peach tone to it, it looks like my skin, and under makeup, it is so pretty. It's also very smoothing. Again, you can use it as a liquid highlighter, but I love using it as a primer when I am wearing more of a light coverage product because it just looks so natural and nice on the skin. So as far as light coverage products go, I have been using the Typology Tinted Serum quite a bit. I'll switch back and forth. Like, sometimes I'll use this one, sometimes I'll use Fenty. Fenty is more mattifying, so during the winter time, like, this is definitely my go-to formula. It's so light and pretty on the skin. I have a video where I use this, which I'll link in the description box below if you want to check it out. This is a little bit different than like a typical tinted moisturizer moisturizer or even like a skin tint because it does have a ton of really good skincare ingredients in it and just a really nice amount of coverage. Like it's not a full coverage product, it's very light, but it just gives your skin a very beautiful look. On its own, it does have a really pretty glow. Once it dries down, it's not quite so luminous, but it's very pretty on the skin, just very natural looking and super easy to apply. Sometimes I'll wear that on its own, and then sometimes I'll pair it with the Westman Atelier primer, or I might use it with the Typology Glow Drops. Again, you could use these as a liquid highlighter as well, but I just find that mixing just a little bit of like a glowy product into my base products has been making a big difference for me. During the winter time, like sometimes my skin just looks and feels a little bit dull, and you can obviously apply like glowy cheek products, and I think creams and liquids help a lot, but sometimes adding just like a touch of a glow to your complexion product looks really pretty too. So I've been enjoying that a lot, and you don't have to add a lot, like even just a little bit makes a big difference. So I love this formula because it's so light, and again, it just looks really natural on the skin. So when I'm not wearing this product from Typology or like the Fenty Skin Tint, I haven't really been wearing foundation. I've just been using the Natasha Denona concealer for the most part. I have the shade N4. It is really pretty as a concealer, but I tend to just use it as foundation. It just looks so good on the skin. And it's interesting because I did talk about this in a few of my end of the year like wrap up videos, and some of you hate this formula. I feel like most of the people who said they didn't like it said they have dry skin, and my skin is probably more combo. So I'm curious, if you've tried this, do you love it? Like I think people either love it or hate it. I haven't heard a lot of people that are on the fence about it, which I think is interesting. This is my second one, and I'm almost through with it. I should have purchased it in December when I placed a Sephora order, or no, when I was shopping in the actual Sephora store and I got the 20% off, because now I need to repurchase it, but it looks so good on the skin. I'm kind of surprised that a lot of the people who said they didn't like this said they have dry skin, because I do find it to be a very moisturizing formula. Like it's very creamy, it has a nice glow to it. But if you didn't like this product, like if you found it to be a little bit too thick or heavy or not moisturizing enough, I definitely recommend the Tower 28 concealer. I have talked about these quite a bit over the last few weeks as I've been doing like all of my favorites of the year, so I won't spend a ton of time on these. Let me just blend them in. Natasha Denona is in the shade N4, and then Tower 28, which is on the left, is in the shade DTLA. So that's what they look like. The Tower 28 definitely has a thinner feel on the skin, but I don't know, they kind of have like a very similar finish. They look and feel the same. Well, no, Tower 28 definitely feels a little bit thinner, but they definitely both have like that natural glow, that really moisturizing feel to them. But I do think if you have dry skin, Tower 28 might be a little bit more ideal. If you're looking for a drugstore version though, I definitely recommend the Catrice True Skin. This is one of my all-time favorites. I just used mine up, so I repurchased this. It's in the shade Cool Cashmere. But I feel like this is probably a good in-between formula. Like it's a little bit more full coverage than Tower 28, but it's a little bit thinner than Natasha Denona. And again, very affordable. So these are my three go-tos. I think they're all great for the winter time. I do have a little bit of an older concealer in here. I haven't used this in a really long time, or I haven't used it regularly. It's the LYS Beauty Triple Fix Full Coverage Concealer, and I have the shade LN6. I really like this formula. I just haven't used it in a while because I've been focusing on the other one. So I want to make sure I show some love to that. And then I just have two foundations. I haven't really worn this regularly in a while. It's the Catrice True Skin Foundation. I have the shade Neutral Sand. I'm almost through with this bottle. When I do wear foundation and I want like a true long wearing product, this is the one I reach for. I think I wore this on Christmas maybe, but I don't know the last time I wore it before that because I have been wearing the Natasha Denona concealer so much. So I have it in here just in case, but I also wanted to focus on the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Foundation. This one is lighter, a little bit more moisturizing. And again, I just haven't worn it a lot lately. So I don't know how much use I'll get out of these foundations during the winter because I am kind of focusing more on the other products, but I thought I would throw them in here just in case. I don't think I can do my makeup without the LYS setting spray. I love this product so much. I've actually used a good amount of this. Like if it's standing up straight, you can kind of see I've used this much, and I just got it in December. It is so good. This has the finest mist I've ever seen on a setting spray. It's so light and comfortable, and it doesn't feel like you're wearing setting spray. Like I don't always love the way setting spray kind of transforms my base makeup, and that's just not an issue with this one, but it does set your makeup into place dries really well. Like if I am wearing more glowy products, I don't have to worry about them wearing off as quickly when I use this setting spray. So I use it every single time I do my makeup. I do have a few powders in here. I have the LYS Beauty powder. I have a lot of powder in my makeup collection right now. So I want to use up a couple of these before I buy any new powder. This one is great to use in combination with cream and liquid products, which I am using a lot of creams this season. So I have this one on hand. And then another great light coverage product, or another great light coverage powder, is the Catrice Prime and Fine mattifying powder. They call it a mattifying powder, and waterproof, so it sounds like it's going to be super intense, but it's also very, very lightweight. So I love using that with creams too. If I do want more of a matte finish, I'll reach for the Flower Beauty Light Illusion. I'm almost done with this one, so I want to make an effort to use it up fully, again, before repurchasing a new one or trying something different. And then when we were out of town for the holidays, I actually just brought this one with me, the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. I bought this again in 2023 because this used to be my favorite formula. And when I tried it again after not using it for a few years, I was a little bit underwhelmed. But again, I've just kind of been rotating through my powders, and I've been reaching for this one really consistently to set my under eye concealer because it makes my skin look really smooth. It locks my concealer into place. I really don't have to touch up my makeup throughout the day, even if I am using like lighter coverage products that don't last as long. So this has really been my go-to, but it is an expensive powder, so I don't know if I'll repurchase it once I run out. Okay, let's talk about cheek products. I took out all of my powder products for January because I really wanted to focus on creams and liquids. I don't know, they look better on my skin these days. They have more of like a smooth, seamless finish, and I feel like they just pair really well with the complexion products I've been using. I do have one powder bronzer, but I have a couple of other ones. So this one's new. It's the Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Bronzer. I have the shade Hey Honey. I'll swatch all of the bronzers next to each other for you in just a second so you can see what they look like in case we have a similar skin tone and you're looking for the best option. But I love this product. It is a newer launch to me. I talked about it in a recent like testing new drugstore makeup video, and I'm really impressed by that one so far. I also have this one from Makeup by Mario. I bought this on Black Friday or like during that week when everything was on sale. It is the Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer, and I got the shade Light Medium. I'm actually glad I got this shade. I was maybe going to go with the lighter shade, but it is such a subtle product that I feel like the lighter one really wouldn't have shown up on my skin very well. And it looks a little bit deeper in the pan, but I'll swatch it for you. You'll see it's very, very soft. And then the other cream bronzer I have is just the Makeup Revolution Ultra Cream Bronzer, and I have the shade Light. This one is definitely the most pigmented out of the three and probably the most long wearing. Okay, so on the left is the Milani bronzer in the shade Hey Honey. I feel like that one has the most matte finish compared to the other two. You can kind of see it in the light here. So it is very natural on the skin, but it's not overly glowy. In the center is the Makeup by Mario in the shade Light Medium. That one is the most glowy, and it's also very sheer on the skin. Like on my hand, it doesn't look that sheer, but when I actually apply it to the skin with a brush, it does look very sheer, very natural. And then on the right is Makeup Revolution, which has the most pigment. I think it looks the most even. So those are the three cream bronzers I'll really be using. I do have the Flower Beauty Heat Wave Luminous Bronzer. Mine broke when we were traveling. I don't think it got like none of my other makeup got damaged in my makeup bag. The little like clasp in here just came off, but it still works really well. I've been using this in place of blush, or I'll use it if I want like a little extra bronzer. As for blush, I have like the blush versions of two of the bronzers I'm using. So the Makeup by Mario bronzer basically feels the same on the skin as these blushes do. These are the Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veils. So I have two shades. This one is Barely Blushing, which is the lightest shade. It's very natural and soft on the skin. And then this one is Berry Punch, which I actually think is the deepest shade. But because it is such a sheer formula, I feel like I can wear it, even though I might not reach for this color in like more of a pigmented formula. And then I have the Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Blushes. So this one is Nude Kiss. And these have a little bit more pigment than Makeup by Mario, but they, again, have like a very similar glow on the skin. And then this one is Blushing Berry. So it's a little bit more pink than Makeup by Mario's Berry. So let me swatch these for you. So I did pretty light swatches. You can build up the two deeper shades a little bit if that's what you want to do too. But on the left is Makeup by Mario in Barely Blushing, and then the second one is Makeup by Mario in Berry Punch. Berry Punch can definitely look more intense on the cheeks, but that's just like one quick swipe. And then this one is Milani Cheek Kiss in the shade Nude Kiss, and then Milani Cheek Kiss in the shade Blushing Berry, which again can be built up to look a little bit more intense. But I just like these because they're very balmy, very easy to apply, really comfortable and natural, and they definitely give your skin a glow without being like too over the top. So usually I'll apply these like directly after cream bronzer, and then I'll use a very light powder to set everything into place. Before I move on to the liquid products, I also have two cream blushes from Merit. I have Cheeky and Raspberry Beret. I was just wearing one of these yesterday, and I was like, I have to put them in my everyday makeup drawer because they're so pretty on the skin. They're very, very, again, just very effortless. I'm not really in the mood to spend like a ton of time on my makeup these days, so I want products that are going to go on fast and just look good and look skin-like. So you can apply them directly to the skin like this. Sometimes I'll just take my brush on the product, but on the left is Cheeky and then on the right is Raspberry Beret. Merit products are very, very glowy. So if you have really oily skin, their cheek products might not be as ideal just because, I mean, they last fine on my skin, especially if I use powder or like the LYS setting spray, but they are very, very balmy. Just really pretty though. As for highlighter, I don't know, like in 2023, I wasn't super big into highlighter. I was mainly wearing the Essence Pure Nude or the Rare Beauty highlighters. And I wore one of these the other day, maybe like a week or two ago, and I loved the way it looked. So I wanted to use them regularly for a little bit longer. They're the ColourPop Super Shock highlighters. I have two shades. I have Lunch Money and Wisp. So on the left is Lunch Money, and then on the right is Wisp. Wisp is very natural on my skin. Like it basically blends into my skin and just gives me like a hint of a glow. I don't know if Lunch Money is going to be a little bit too dark. We'll see. That's why they're in my drawer, so I can use them and see if I still really enjoy them. And then I just have my Rare Beauty liquid blushes. I did order the e.l.f. liquid blushes, which should be here any day now. I'm definitely curious to try them out and see how they compare. I've been seeing a lot of people say they love them, and also that they're very similar to Rare Beauty, which would be amazing to have more of an affordable option. So let me swatch these for you. So this one is Hope, which is probably my most worn. It's very soft, really natural on my skin. This one is Happy. I actually just wore that the other day, and every time I first apply it, I'm like, oh, I don't love that color on me. And then I end up really enjoying it. I feel like once it has like a few minutes to kind of settle, it looks really pretty. And then on the right is the shade Joy. This one's pretty intense. Honestly, I don't wear that one. I hardly wear that one. I thought I would like it a little bit more than I do. I don't know that I'll wear it a lot during the winter. I could probably just put it back in my makeup collection. I feel like that is a summertime shade to me, but they're all pretty. I kind of want to mix some shades together and just play around with them a little bit more. On the left is Encourage, on the right is Truth. I really like Encourage as well. Sometimes I'll mix Encourage and Hope and get like a really nice mid-tone shade, but these are really pretty. Now I haven't really done a ton of mixing with this product, which is why I bought it. It's the Rare Beauty Liquid Luminizer in the shade Enchant. I do like this as a highlighter on its own because it's very, very light. Like when I didn't try the Rare Beauty liquid products for a long time because I thought they were going to be too over the top, and they definitely have a good amount of pigment, but they're so easy to work with. They blend into the skin and they look like you can't really tell you're wearing a cheek product other than the color, but like they don't look heavy on the skin. So anyway, I've seen some people mix the liquid luminizer with the blush just to get more of like a glowy finish. And that's why I bought it, so I can mix them together. Oh, it actually looks really pretty mixed with the shade Encourage, and it lightened it up quite a bit, I would say. So on the left, it's mixed with Encourage. So that actually looks a lot lighter, but wow, that looks so glowy. I added a good amount there, and that would be enough for like both cheeks, probably even a little bit too much, but there it is on its own. It's so pretty. It almost has like a little bit of an oily feel to it, but it looks very light and soft on the skin. So anyway, I thought I would just focus on using those during the winter. Okay, like I said, I did downsize my eyeshadow palette selection. So I have the e.l.f. I Love You Latte Quad, which is my #1 staple. I'll use this on its own if I don't want to spend a ton of time on my makeup, or I'll just pair it with other palettes. So I'll use the two center shades as crease or transition colors, this one as an outer corner color or a liner, and then this one as a brow bone highlight. So I always have to have this on hand. If I don't want to spend a ton of time on my makeup, I'll just use this and pair it with either a highlighter or a ColourPop Super Shock shadow. I have been using the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palette quite a bit. It's just, again, like a good everyday staple palette because it's really easy to work with. And even if I don't use the matte shadows in here, like if I use the e.l.f. quad, I'll still take usually one of these two shimmers all over the lid, and they look so good. They definitely have like that pretty wet looking appearance. I like this the more that I use it. I got it a few months ago, so I haven't had it for a super long time, but I just feel like it comes in handy. Like it's an easy formula. It's not overly pigmented. It looks soft and pretty on the eyes, and I just feel like it's nice to have. I brought this with me when we went out of town. Actually, yeah, this and the e.l.f. palette were the only ones I brought with me, and I feel like I was good. Okay, this is an older launch. I had this when it first launched and I really enjoyed it, and then I just got it again in 2023, but I love this. I can't stop using it. I mainly focus on like the first half of the quad or the first half of the palette when I want like a very simple natural look, but I just did a smoky eye fairly recently. I don't know which video it was, but I got a ton of compliments and I was like, oh, that's so nice. Like definitely more than normal. And it was this palette. All I did was take like this shade in the crease, or this shade is a transition, this shade in the crease, and this shade all over the lid. And then maybe I layered, oh, you know what? I think I layered a Makeup by Mario shimmer on top. I don't know. I filmed it at some point in December, but I like this formula because it's very easy to work with. The matte shadows are very soft and they're really buildable. So on the eyes, they don't look too over the top and you can slowly go in and add more. And then the shimmer shadows are really intense. Let me swatch a few. They kind of have like a thicker, creamy texture to them. So they look really nice on the eyes, but they don't have like the light feel that a lot of shimmers do these days. So if you're like in store and you're swatching it, you'll probably be like, it feels more so like an old school eyeshadow formula. But because they have like that thicker texture, I think they look really smooth on the eyes. And I don't know, I'm not trying to like sell you on this palette. If you have a lot of neutral palettes, you probably don't need it, to be honest. But if you do own this, because it is a little bit of an older launch, maybe break it back out because I've been really just pleasantly surprised by it. I've been using it a ton. And then I just have two Natasha Denona palettes. So I have the retro palette. I thought this would be fun because in February, it's Valentine's Day. A lot of brands do Valentine's Day collections and they always pull me in. Like I always want all of the pink and purple makeup. Maybe not as much these days, but usually if I just go into my own makeup collection and pull out all of my pink toned palettes, that does it for me because how many do I really need? So this is one of my favorite palettes. I haven't actually paired it a ton with the I Need a Nude palette, but I feel like that would be the perfect combination. That's what I always have in mind, and I just don't do it very often. So I thought this would be the perfect time to kind of focus on that because we'll be seeing all of those pink and purple makeup collections very soon. And I feel like they do kind of inspire me to pull out more pink toned eyeshadow, which is what I pretty much used to wear like exclusively. So I don't know, these just feel like they would go so well together. And I'm excited to kind of focus on using them together in January and February. I do have some ColourPop Super Shock shadows as well. So I'll just show you the ones that I'll be using. This one is Koosh. It's a little bit older. I don't know if they still sell this shade, but I need to repurchase it if they do because I actually do use this one quite a bit. If I'm doing a little bit more of a cool toned look and I want like an extra sparkly lid, I'll reach for that. I've been using this one a little bit lately, not a ton. This one is Tassel. It's really intense, but I feel like a little bit tapped over like the center of the eye is nice. I just got this one again. This one is Ritz. Mine was dried out. I had it for such a long time. I think, is this the one that people say is a dupe for Space Cowboy from Urban Decay? I think it is. It's interesting because it looks very different brand new than it does when you use it quite a bit. Because when I was looking at mine, like last time I was comparing them, it didn't have like a lot of brown to it. It looked like a sparkly silver. This one is Sunrise Hike. I love this one if I'm doing like a bronzer in the crease and I want like a gold shadow on the lid. And then these, again, I don't know if they still sell these shades. These are a little bit older. This one is Set to Stun. I thought it'd be fun to pull in like some pinky purple ones for those more Valentine's Day inspired makeup looks. And then this one is Silver Lake. It's just a really pretty color. So let me swatch these for you just in case they do still sell them and you're curious about them. So on the left is Koosh, in the center is Tassel, and then on the right is the shade Ritz. So that's what they look like swatched. Again, I feel like these just kind of go well with the eyeshadow palettes that I picked out. On the left is Sunrise Hike, in the center is Silver Lake, and then on the right is Set to Stun. So again, just really sparkly, super pretty. I will never ever give up my Super Shock shadows. For mascara, I do have two brown ones. So I have the Tower 28 Make Waves. This one is in the shade Drift, which is their brown. It's definitely a dark brown. Like it almost looks like a subtle black on the lashes, but I do love the Tower 28 formula. So this one is nice to have when I do want like a slightly more natural color, but I still want like the lift and curl the Tower 28 gives. I've really been enjoying the Too Faced Better Than Sex chocolate mascara. This really surprised me. Honestly, I didn't try it for a long time because I don't really like the original Better Than Sex formula, but this is better than the original one. And at first I was like, maybe they just reformulated, maybe my opinion changed. But when I talked about this in like where did I mention this? In one of my end of the year favorites videos, one of you said that you think this formula is a lot different than the original as well. The original one, last time I tried it, and I've tried it a lot over the years, flaked on me, it would smudge, it wasn't like easy to build. That is not the case with the chocolate version. Also, this one actually looks like a brown mascara on the eyes. I feel like a lot of brown mascaras I've tried do end up looking either black or like a subtle black rather than a true brown, but I find that the Too Faced one does look brown. I'm almost done with this one. It's the Tartelette Tubing Mascara. I really like this. I think I like this once it dries out a little bit, or I like it better when it dries out a little bit. It is a tubing mascara. It's not quite as easy to remove as other tubing mascaras I've tried, but it also doesn't look like a typical tubing mascara. Like you get more volume, it's easier to build. So I feel like it's kind of like a tubing mascara, regular mascara hybrid, if that makes sense, but I do enjoy that formula. The Milani Highly Rated Lash Extensions Mascara is a true tubing mascara, but it's a very wet formula. I think people really tend to dislike this mascara, but it's so much better after it dries out, and it takes forever to dry out, like 2 full months to dry out to the point where it's like really usable. But I love using this on my bottom lashes, or I'll just kind of pair it with a mascara. It's really good at adding volume but not length. I just opened the Flower Beauty Dream Warrior. This was one of my favorite launches of 2023. It's a very fluttery mascara. That's how I always describe it. It gives your lashes like a fluffy look. They look voluminous and lifted and separated, just really pretty. Okay, for brows, I have the NYX Thick It Stick It, which is just my go-to brow gel. I love this one. And then I also have the Glossier Boy Brow, which I do enjoy too. I usually always have those in my drawer. For eyeliner, I haven't been wearing eyeliner a ton, but when I do, I've been using the Urban Decay 24/7 Inks eyeliner because this one just glides on easily. It's not overly dramatic or too intense. But most days I've either been using eyeshadow with just like an eyeliner brush, or I'll use like a pencil liner and just smudge it out. So I don't wear liquid liner a ton these days, but when I do, that's what I'm reaching for. I have the Milani Weekend Brow Pen, which I like, and then the NYX brow pen too. I think the Milani one's a little bit more subtle, so I do like that for more like natural makeup days, but the NYX one has been my go-to. It's a little more intense, so I feel like if I want pigment, that's the one I reach for. The Smashbox Eye Primer, which just creates like a very silky, smooth base, and then the Urban Decay Brow Blade, which I think I saw Urban Decay redid these. I was scrolling through Ulta's website. I didn't see an announcement on their social media or anything like that, so I don't know if they redid the brow blade completely or just repackaged it, but I do love the brow blade pencil. And I told you recently, like, I don't remember buying this for such a long time, but I always seem to have it on hand. And I think it's because last time I bought it, I bought quite a few because they were on sale. Okay, I just flipped this around because we're going to talk about lip products. I have a lot of lip products in here, but I do like to have like a couple of formulas that I specifically chose to focus on because otherwise I'll just end up using the same exact ones over and over. So it's just, again, like a good way to rotate through everything. So one formula that I actually haven't used in a while would be the Makeup by Mario, what are these called again? Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serums. I tried something similar from Hard Candy in 2023, and as I was talking about that in a favorites video, I was like, I can't remember the last time I used the Makeup by Mario ones. So I thought I would put them in my drawer and just kind of focus on them. Here's what they look like swatched and kind of blended out a little bit. So on the left is Nude Glow, the second one is Mocha Glow, the third one is Bronze Glow, and then this one is Apricot Glow. Even swatching them, I'm like, why have I not been wearing these? They look so pretty. So I am excited to just kind of use them again, regularly because I think I'll really enjoy them during the colder winter months. Okay, the Tower 28, what are these called? Tower 28 Shine On Lip Jellies. I feel like I tend to reach for these all year. It doesn't really need to be like a specific season. This one is cashew, this one is almond, and then this one is sesame. These are very comfortable. They definitely have like that lip oil feel to them, but they're also really glossy and smooth on the lips too. On the left is cashew, in the center is almond, and then on the right is sesame. I've actually really been loving the ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lips too, which these really surprised me because ColourPop has had, I guess, quite a few lip gloss formulas over the years, and they've redone the Ultra Glossy line a few times, and I've never been the biggest fan. Initially, they had a brush tip applicator, which I just didn't like the actual applicator. And then the next time I tried them, I felt like the formula was fine, but it was like forgettable. I tried them again recently and I loved them. So on the left is Major Throwback. This one is Lynx. Look how shiny they are. They have like that true glass-like finish. This one is Hit Snooze, and then this one is Paradise. They are more sheer, so they don't have like a ton of pigment, but they look really pretty. They feel good. They're not the most long-lasting, but they definitely have like a very moisturizing feel. And even once they wear off, like my lips feel really good. This one is from Hourglass. It's one of their, I forget the name. I think it's called like, it's like their glossy lip balm, whatever they call it. This one is in the shade Trace. It has that similar texture to like the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips or Makeup by Mario, but I think these, I don't know, there's a difference. Like these are very glossy. You can really see in the lights. Like what did I just watch? The Makeup by Mario ones are nice, but they're definitely thinner. And these are not overly thick, but they do give your lips like intense shine. This is the Milk Makeup Odyssey Lip Gloss Oil in the shade Voyage. This is so pretty. It looks intense in the packaging, but it's pretty sheer. I actually like wearing this with like a cool toned nude lip liner. This is just like a sheer wash of it, but it just gives your lips like a very pretty berry hint without being over the top. And then I haven't been wearing this a lot. It's the Saie Glossy Bounce in the shade Push. I think this formula is good. I wouldn't say it's like a run out and buy formula. There are just so many products like this that I feel like you don't need to have this one in your life. But I do think the color is pretty. And again, it just kind of strikes me as like a winter color. As far as actual lipstick goes, I've been wearing lipstick a lot lately. Like I was on such a glossy lip product kick in 2023. I wasn't wearing like a ton of actual lipstick. These days I am. There's something about like a nice nude lipstick that I love. A deep nude, a light nude. I've really been enjoying a lot of different colors. So this one's from Merit. It's their signature lip in the shade Baby. This one kind of has like a hint of pink to it. I don't like the Merit lip oils, but I do like the lipstick. It has a little bit of like a sheen, but for the most part on the lips, I feel like it does look not fully matte, but a little bit more natural. Honestly, the formula I've been wearing the most are these ones from Too Faced, the Cocoa Bold lipsticks. I don't know if they still have these. I never hear anyone talk about these. And these, as well as the, what are they called? The Lady Bold. Are they called the Lady Bold lipsticks? That doesn't sound right. That is right. I don't know why that sounded weird to me. This line is so good as well. I don't think the Cocoa Bold lipsticks are at Sephora. That's why I don't hear that much about, oh, they are. Cocoa Bold cream lipsticks. I don't know. I feel like I've never seen someone talk about these in a video or use them or anything, and they're so good. I've had them in my collection for a little while. This one is in the shade, let me just swatch them all and then I'll tell you. They're just so rich and creamy. Like if you want an intense cream lipstick that has like a lot of pigment, that feels comfortable, that looks smooth. Like this really is just such a good formula. It's the same formula as the Lady Bold formula. So if you tried that one, then that might give you more of an idea. This one is Ganache, this one is Hot Chocolate, and then this one is Chocolate Chip. I've actually been wearing this one with like a little bit of this one on top. They're so good. I feel like when I wear them, I don't even need a gloss because they do have like a shine and they're so incredibly comfortable for a cream lipstick. I think 2024 is the year that I'm going to get back into lipstick. I don't know. I feel good when I have like a good lipstick on. It makes a difference. I feel like I can go so light on my eye makeup and even like light on my base makeup. But if I have like a good lipstick on, I just feel good. So I don't know. These are from ColourPop. I haven't worn these a lot, so I wanted to focus on using them. I have the shade What Up and then the shade Layover. So these are both nude as well. I'll just swatch them for you. Here's What Up. I don't know if this is my tone. So I want to actually wear it a few times to see. And then this one is Layover. They're really, really similar. Why do I have both of them? What Up is on the left, on the right is Layover. I'll definitely make a decision whether or not I want to keep them by the end of February because I haven't worn them a lot. I feel like maybe they're a little bit too like peachy pinky. I don't know. I'm really picky about my nude lip colors these days, and I feel like I don't know if I'll love these on. Lottie London launched these last year. I think they launched them like right before Valentine's Day. My labels are kind of wearing off, but these are their Cheeky Kiss. They're like lipstick slash blushes. So you can use them in two different ways, but they have like a really cute heart applicator. Kaja makes something similar too. So this one is Such a Flirt. And look, these have like such a pretty shine to them. They're so nice. And I think they actually do work really well as blushes too. If you want like an all-in-one product, this one is in the color Just My Type. And I think the colors are really nice for blush as well. This one is probably my favorite, at least as blush. This one's in the shade Swipe Right. And I almost like these a little bit better than the Kaja ones. Like the Kaja ones are nice, but they're not quite as glowy. These are just so pretty, so comfortable. I think that's it. Oh no, I have two of the e.l.f. Glow Reviver lip oils. I've actually been wearing this one quite a bit. So the red one is called Red Delicious, and then the nude one is called Honey Talks. I liked these when I first tried them, but honestly, I find myself grabbing them like as I'm heading out the door quite a bit. They're easy. I wasn't sold on the minty scent at first, but I think like with December and the holidays, I don't know, it kind of I feel like it was kind of festive and now I do enjoy it. So this one is Honey Talks and then this one is Red Delicious. Like this is the type of product when I first tried it, I was like, it's good, but the more that I wear it, the more that I love it because it has like a nice glossy feel, but they don't wear off super quickly. Like they're lip oils, so they're not going to last forever, but I feel like I don't know, they stay in place a little bit better than like a true thin runny lip oil. I'm definitely a fan of those. Okay, this is the actual last product in here is from Milani. It's a newer product, the Color Fetish Hydrating Lip Stain, and I have the shade Bitten Berry. I really like this product. I tested this out in a recent video and it kind of surprised me. It's very comfortable. That's what it looks like with one layer, but you can actually layer this up and get it to look a little more intense as well. And you can sheer it out as well. So it's like a really customizable product. And once it dries down, it actually doesn't really transfer, which just always surprises me. Glossy lip stains are so confusing to me because in my mind, they should transfer. But this one really doesn't, surprisingly. And the stain looks nice. The stain doesn't last forever. Like I would say, I'm trying to think. Last time I wore this, I would say it lasted like 6 hours and then it was like kind of gone. But that wasn't bad for me because it was so comfortable. Sometimes with lip stains, they're just so uncomfortable that I don't really care if they're lasting because they completely dried my lips out. This one really didn't feel like I had anything on. In fact, I kind of forgot to like look in the mirror the first time I was testing it because it didn't even feel like I was wearing anything. Anyway, I do really enjoy that product. So that is it from me for today's video. I'm sure this was a little bit of a longer one. These videos get so long, so I'll try to cut it down so it's not over the top long, but I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for hanging out with me, just kind of sitting, chatting about makeup. I would love to know which products you're using as we head into 2024. Let me know what your staples are, the things that you can't put down, and I will be back in a few days with a new video. Bye.